Sutra 13. Anyatha Patitya Shankaya. Otherwise, there is every possibility of falling from the ideal. A person who throws out all the rules of scripture and simply does whatever he wants does not attain perfection, the supreme goal, or even worldly happiness. Bhagavad Gita 16.23. To reach that level of blissful love mentioned in the previous aphorism, the aspirant should be cautious not to act according to his own emotional impulses, which may disagree with or divert him from the principles in the scripture. The regulations within the scriptures describe devotion to the Lord, and are therefore non-different from Him. They are not really regulations as such, they are the Lord's likes and dislikes. One may question why He would have likes and dislikes when He is the creator of everything and everything belongs to Him. This can be understood in a simple way by the example of a father who has two sons, where one is good in nature and the other is not. The father will be pleased by the actions of the pleasant-natured son, who strives to carve a rightful path for himself, and he will not appreciate the negative consequences of inappropriate behavior from the second son, because the father is aware that improper actions will lead him to a life of misery. He does not necessarily exclude the second child from the family just because he is difficult. Instead, the father endeavors to guide his son in the best way that he can. In the same way, the Lord never abandons His children who may tread the wrong path, nor is He pleased if His children participate in those actions which have negative results. The Lord wishes that His progeny spread love among each other and strengthen the bond within the universal family, the world. Therefore, to progress faster in the devotional world, some guidelines have been given in the scriptures. These are essential for devotees to learn and practice. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita 2.19.157, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that devotion is a vine, a climbing plant, and to prevent the powerful elephant of offences from entering, the gardener must protect the vine by fencing it all around. The gardener is an analogy for a devotee. A vine usually grows by the support of a tree. By nature, this plant is very fragile. But in the above-mentioned verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that offences are like a mad elephant. Offences here are different from sins. They consist of specific acts that are listed in the scriptures, such as criticizing or harming a devotee, blasphemy of the holy name, and so forth. Sins can have serious physical, emotional, or psychological consequences, but they do not end one's devotion for the Lord. Conversely, offences can damage or destroy one's spiritual progress. Offences lead to more offences, and one who commits them will find him or herself becoming more and more atheistic. With minimal effort, a mad elephant can uproot trees in a forest, and in the face of such brutal force, the delicate vine of devotion has no means to defend herself. The scriptures mention a few of the offences, such as harming Vaishnavas with one's thoughts or actions, blasphemy of the holy name, and offences caused during worship of the Lord. Vaishnavas are devotees of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. As the aspirant takes his first step on the path of devotion, he must avoid these powerful offences because they can destroy the devotional vine in his life. One should take the instructions in the scriptures as guidelines and faithfully continue onwards on one's journey. To illustrate this point, when a person learns to drive a car, he receives a manual highlighting the codes of conduct of driving. In the beginning, whilst he takes driving lessons, He tries to adhere to each and every rule, with the hope of becoming a better driver. But when he passes his driving test, he drives his car without the same level of attentiveness that was required as a learner. The Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.34-35 says, "Even those who are uneducated can easily come to know the Lord by practicing the method that He Himself has prescribed. This method is known as Bhagavad Dharma, or the path of devotional practice. One who accepts this path is never confused. He will not trip or fall down, even if he runs with his eyes shut." When the devotee runs with his eyes shut, it does not imply that he is blind. In his enthusiasm to reach the destination, he may overlook or omit the simpler practices to maintain the momentum in his sprint. By following the instructions in the scriptures and reaching a certain level in his devotion, he is aware of what can be overlooked without harming his practice. He does not even look back, and he runs so fast that his feet touch only parts of the path. One who is a beginner or a learner takes every step with great care, carefully treading every path of the path and adhering to all regulations along the way, just like a learner driver. Therefore, to nourish and strengthen the vine of devotion, Sage Narad tells a devotee to win the heart of the Lord by pleasing him according to the guidelines stated in the scriptures.